Hello, Avon family. Happy What You Need to Know Wednesday. Jennifer Gutierrez here. Really excited to talk about your story. So what is your story? So I thought that I would share a little bit about my Avon story and kind of find out from you what your Avon story is. And then also, I want to kind of dive into more information that's coming out in campaign 8, 9, and 10. And then also take a look at where we're at with RepFest. Hey, Tracy, I was with Tracy all day today at a career fair, and Tracy sent me some great pictures of her and some of our Avon dresses, so I'll have to post those as well so you can check those out. Hey, Jenny, thanks for joining us this evening on What You Need to Know Wednesday, live at 5. So we're going to be talking today about your Avon story. We're also going to be taking a look at where you're at in campaign 8, 9, and 10. And we have hit, for those of you that have gone to your sales meeting, you'll know that we have reached 4,000 registrations for RepFest this year. Tracy says, hey, Jennifer, I love the dresses, the clothing we have coming up. I do too, Tracy. And the quality, like the fabric for the floral dress that you had on, the one that you took a picture of, I found that to be very fabulous. So how did it feel on? Hi, Elisa. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. Tracy, you're registered. You're going to RepFest. Who else is going to RepFest? Sandra, thanks for joining us. I know, believe it or not, August is going to be here before we know it. I am very excited. Spring's already here. We had our first week of spring, and before you know it, RepFest is going to be here, and we're going to find out everything that's coming out for fourth quarter, which is always exciting. So the dress felt pretty comfortable then, Tracy, I see. Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit about my Avon story and what brought me to Avon and the importance of why your Avon story is so important. So just kind of a little bit of background about your Avon story. Stories help to connect you with other people. So when people find out more about you and they share about themselves, it brings your circles closer together and you start to kind of build a bond in that way. Let's see here. Debbie says she's going to RepFest and she's going to sign a new person up tonight. So, gosh, Debbie, you are on fire. I tell you what, how many people are on your team now? I know you're just as a brand new representative. I know you had 3 people start in campaign 6 and you're already, I think that's is that your 5th, Debbie, that you've gotten started? Pretty exciting. So the reason why your Avon story is important is because it also helps people to be drawn into your business and kind of know what kind of highlights that your business offers to you on your day-to-day life. Okay, yay, Debbie has her 4th recruit, so congratulations. So when you think about what brought you to Avon, you want to think, hey, Cindy, thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about our Avon story. So with your Avon story, when you think about what brought you to Avon, and when you're sharing that with other people, you want to be able to give them a sense of our community and also how personal it is to you. So I just wanted to kind of share. I thought I would pull out some old pictures on how I got started. And I'm actually going to start with my mom because for those of you that know, this is a picture of my mom years ago. She was actually a district sales manager in this picture, and that's my brother, my older brother, by the way. And when she first started with Avon, it was back in the 70s, and she was a district sales manager in the 70s. She went on to be a field trainer, and her name's Joan Shannon. So for those of you that have been with Avon for a while, you may have actually met her. But she started in the Midwest, and then we eventually moved to California. And so I pretty much grew up around Avon my whole life. So from there, I also wanted to show you when I turned 25, I joined Avon as a district sales manager. Before that, in college, I was already a representative and building my business. And then at age 25, I decided that I wanted to see the corporate side of things as well. So I wanted to show you when I was 25, my mom had actually won a trip for, it was a cruise that Avon had. It was an incentive to go to Cozumel, Mexico. And so that was my first Avon trip. And I have to tell you, if you've never been on an Avon trip, you have to go on an Avon trip because nobody does it like Avon. And for those of you that are listening, share with me, where have you gone? If you've been on an Avon trip, if you've been to conference, just put in the comments, where have you gone? What kind of places have you been to? Tracy says, I came to Avon 18 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. At the time I had, oh, Tracy, it's going too fast for me. Her story, she says, I had worked at a 40-hour a week job. She had her daughter Lexi, and she didn't want to miss out. Exactly. So Tracy says she didn't want to miss out on her daughter's life growing up. So Tracy has been with Avon for 18 years. She was working 40 hours, and she decided to join Avon so that she could spend more time with her daughter and be part of her daughter's life. So when I first joined Avon, it was kind of funny because as a district manager, you weren't allowed to bring any other corporate employees on any of the trips that you won. So I actually had to start working after this trip to Cozumel. You could bring a family member for winning the trip because she won an extra ticket for a family member, but I had to wait to actually become an employee. So this is a picture of some of the other district sales managers at the time. This is my mom. This is my mom here. And this was back in, oh my goodness, 2004. And so this is Ruth, Trish, Amelia, and Ven. These are all California district managers. So for those of you that are in California, you may see some familiar faces here. So this was back in 2004. That's when I started as a district sales manager. And then here's a picture of me on the trip. So you'll have to excuse the hair. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was definitely kind of the style back in 2004. So I went on this trip with her to Cozumel, and it was just a lot of excitement. So that is how I got started. But what brought me to Avon, and I'll have to show you, what brought me to Avon was my son. So this is a picture of my son, and just like Tracy said, you know, when I had my son, I was very young. I went to school, I went to college, I brought him with me, and I worked full-time. I actually worked at on a graveyard shift from 3, well, it used to be from 11 at night till 7 in the morning. I then switched and I started working from 3 at night, or excuse me, 9 at night till 3 a.m. Then I went to college from 10 o'clock until early afternoon, like around 3. And then I would have my son with me from 3 until about 8. And then I'd start all over again, go back to work from 9 to 3. So that was my life. And then from there, I picked up an internship on Fridays to work at a law firm because I was really focusing on becoming an attorney back when I was in college. So after I finished school, I thought about doing Avon. It was actually a friend. My mom had talked to me about it over and over again, but it was actually a friend who encouraged me to get started. So I ended up getting started, and it was perfect because I already had such a busy life. You know, I had a 3-year-old at the time when I started Avon. I also worked my full-time job, went to school full-time, could not add anything else to my schedule. But guess what? Like most of us, I needed extra money. And I just, as Tracy said, I didn't want to miss any of the events at my son's school. I wanted to be the parent that was able to volunteer. That's why I worked the graveyard shift. So Avon was perfect because I could fit it into my busy life, and I was able to still go to all my son's games. I was able to volunteer at the school once a week, and it really allowed me to be around the people that were most important to me. Let's see here. Cindy says, Avon trips are awesome. I've been with Avon 12 years, been to a lot of conferences and earned a few all-expenses paid trips. Jamaica was your favorite. Fantastic. I hope to see you at the Bahamas. That would be amazing. So once I joined Avon, I started fitting it into my busy schedule. My first goal was to be able to have a party for my son. I wanted to have one of those astro jumps, those big jumps that you get inside, the kids get inside and they can, they're blown up with air. And so I was able to do that with the money that I earned from Avon. And I have to tell you, when I first started, it wasn't easy. It wasn't like I just handed out books and I got people right away. In fact, I got these 10 brochures. My mom gave them to me. I handed them out and I said, now what? And so, you know, it kind of went from there. So I wanted to show this picture because you can see this is my son. This was about 2000 and I think this was 2005, and you can even see the Avon brochures right there behind my son. Please excuse that messy table, but that's definitely the way our life was back then. But what's fun about it is that when my son was such a young child, we used to go and toss brochures, and he was actually the one. We would bag them up and he would actually toss them out the window for me. So I would drive very slowly and he would toss them into the different driveways. And so we did this at night, after, you know, did homework and all that. We would go out and do canvass an area. Tracy said her first goal was to have a Harley Davidson, and she bought an 883 Sportster. Wow, Tracy. I have to see a picture of you on that. That's pretty cool. You'll have to, after the live feed, you'll have to post a picture so we can all see the picture of you on the motorcycle. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, so going forward, everything I did was pretty much for these two guys here. This is my husband, Ted, my son, Reese. We even went on trips together. This is us here. My husband's a big Cowboys fan. So for all of you that are Cowboys fans out there, this is pretty much what our life consists of around football season. So we actually went to see the Cowboys in St. Louis at a Rams game. Unfortunately, they lost, and it was devastating for my husband, as every time they lose, it's devastating. And then eventually, as I continued to go grow with Avon, I then went to my first conference. This was in 2004. We came out with a men's fragrance called I'm Perfect, and this was the model of the fragrance. So I got to have my picture taken with the model there, and that's just kind of some of the fun things they do at the conferences. You know, you get to see different speakers, but this was a lot of fun. We got to take pictures with the model who was in the catalog. So not so bad. And then after that, I was able to have build all kinds of relationships with many men and women, you know, throughout my time with Avon. I've heard so many stories. I've had stories where I've had representatives. I had one representative where her husband had a gambling problem, and she was in presence recognition program and also in leadership, and she was able to use the money from her Avon business to offset some of the expenses that her husband was going through. So she was trying to help him get through his illness of gambling and still keep the family together and still be at home with her 2 children. So that was just so inspiring to me just early on in my career. You know, I too had a young family, so to see her struggle like that, it just really hit home to know that there are people that have, you know, different struggles in their life. So Cindy says, I sold another makeup line and did horribly and was so happy, and did skincare consultation and makeup application sessions and hardly sold anything. Was never able to recruit anyone. Wow, Cindy, I hope now with Avon that you have a different experience, especially if you've been with us for 12 years. So you'll have to tell us how it went once you switched to Avon. Or Cindy, what brought you to Avon? So eventually I had moved from California to the Midwest, and then I earned some trips with some of my fellow managers. So here's one of us at Universal Studios that we won. We actually won a trip out to California, and this is Christy, and then we have Angie, there's me in the middle, and Donna, and then we also have Dina here on the end. So we all earned a trip where we went to Universal Studios. It was a lot of fun. Here's us again at one of the meetings, and we just had a great time. And then this was our boss, Diane. So we just had a great time. This was a luau one that we had there for earning that trip. And so now, this is my son now. He's actually moved back to California. I'm still in the Midwest, but now he's in college. And so, you know, we still talk about Avon. We still talk about the memories of him throwing books, and he always tries to give me tips on what I can do better with my Avon business. So this is my son Reese, and then this is my mom with my brother now. And so she's been retired from Avon, but she still has an active account and she still has some customers. So for those of you that know my mom, she's doing very well. She's retired and in California. And I just wanted to kind of share that because your Avon story is so important when you think about how you got into the business and letting people know about the business. You can kind of see how it just makes you more relatable. It allows people to see you for who you are. So Cindy says, I came to Avon because of the quality of the products and variety. Cindy, there is something to be said about that, because with as many products as we have, it keeps us competitive with some of the other competition that we have. I'm going to move this around because I don't have my light on and the sun is not cooperating with me today. I apologize. Okay, so okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay, so excited for RepFest. Who's all going to RepFest? Remember, that's going to be in August. You want to get your registration. You can bring a guest if you like. If you bring a guest, they can sign up with the early bird just as you can for only $99 through the end of the month. That's only one more week away. We already have 4,000 people, as I mentioned, that are going to RepFest, and there's only 6,000 tickets. So be sure to get registered before the price goes up. One of the things too that they mentioned is they said they had, you know, there was some talk that the rooms were no longer available, that they had sold out of the rooms. Well, they've now had an opportunity to secure more rooms. So if you still want to stay at the Opryland Hotel, which by the way is amazing, I would love to have the opportunity to stay there. So if you want to stay at the Opryland Hotel, they have negotiated rates for you. It's going to be less expensive. You can fit up to 4 people in each room, so you can split the cost 4 ways. You want to go check out RepFest at avonrepfest.com to be able to register. It will give you event details. It will tell you everything you need to know about RepFest, but definitely you want to check that out. So Tracy's bringing her daughter, Cindy's bringing her husband. It looks like we're going to have a family fun-filled event in Nashville this year at RepFest. Now, last week we talked a little bit about a special that's coming out in Campaign 8, this special here. It's our spring special because this is the first week of spring. So you have these 6 products here, all for $34.99. This is $133 value. So I'm just curious, we talked about this last week, who has started to promote this special? Please share with me in the chat how you're promoting the special. Are you doing anything special? Are you doing anything special for the special? I don't know why that just sounded really funny in my head. So are you sending out text messages? Are you taking a picture of it and sending it out to your VIP customers? What kinds of things are you doing to get this special out there to help build your sales? So if you think about it, if you were to sell 10 of these specials, that's an incremental sales of $35. Thank you, Cindy, for laughing at my jokes. Sometimes I have to laugh at my own jokes. So I appreciate it when other people can see the humor in some of my humorless jokes. But anyway, so are you going to snap it with your smartphone and send it out in text messages? Are you sending it out in an email? How are you getting this great special, spring special? It's only it's $133 value for only $34.99. If you sold 10 of these, that's incremental sales of $350 in one campaign in your award sales. That would help bring your award sales up. That's putting you close to tracking for President's Club just on selling 10 of those sets alone. Leah says, I have promoted it on Facebook, took a picture, posted it on Facebook. Love it, Leah. Perfect. Also, if you're posting it on Facebook, tag people on that picture too. I've noticed too, you know, if you have people that, if you post the picture on Facebook, go through and start tagging them so that they can see it. So it's not just in their feed, but they actually get a notification to check it out, because this is a pretty brilliant offer. One of the things that I love about this too, I know I talked about the 3 products last week, but you have that alpha hydroxy acid, a new alpha hydroxy acid refining cream. This is a perfect time if somebody's not using that product to be using it. We're just leaving the winter months, going into the spring, and you know, I know for me, maybe you feel the same way. You start getting really dry skin from the heaters inside, and just from the weather. It's, you know, with the wind, it just being very dry. So having the alpha hydroxy acid is going to help remove those dead skin cells on the top of your skin, on the surface of your skin. So we want to get rid of that so we can enjoy spring, have that beautiful glowing skin for spring. And enjoy this weather that we're going to start having, this great weather coming up. So I have to show you too, in campaign 8, this dress is absolutely fantastic. I know Tracy, I'm going to post that on my Facebook page and in our Facebook group. Tracy Shadowin took a picture of herself in this. I so badly, Tracy, want to have like who wore it best, like you see in the magazines, you next to her. So I might post it that way. But the fabric of this dress is a very comfortable fabric. It also has pockets. Who does not just love a dress with pockets? So that's what I really like about it. But Tracy, you said that you're going to be wearing this, I believe you said for Mother's Day or possibly the President's Club tribute. So great, great outfit for Mother's Day, maybe even Easter. Here again, right there in the in the back of the brochure, we have that special that you want to share with your customers in campaign 8. Easter and President's Club. Got it, Tracy. Keep me straight, girl. So, campaign 7 ends the first quarter. So this is an important time for you to look through and see where you're at as far as President's Club. You want to make sure that you're tracking early on so that at the end of the year, you're not trying to rush yourself into President's Club. And so one of the things that we try and keep an eye on is to make President's Club, you want to sell $389 a campaign, and that will help you stay on track to selling that $10,000 for the entire year. So from campaign 1 to campaign 26, if you're selling, you know, close to $400 a campaign, you're going to achieve President's Club. Now, the reason why you want to achieve President's Club, who can tell me? Why would you want to achieve President's Club? Who can comment? What are some of the benefits to achieving President's Club? One, we already mentioned, you will get an invitation to the President's Club tribute. So anybody who sells over $10,000 is given an invitation to an exclusive event just for those that are top sellers, and it's like an awards ceremony for our top sellers. So some of the other benefits to President's Club, you're going to get 40% commission, as Tracy just posted, 40% earnings guaranteed from the time you become a President's Club member all the way the following year. So for example, Sharon Grimes, she had achieved President's Club last campaign, so she would then get 40% earnings for the rest of this year and then also all of 2018. So the sooner you make President's Club, the sooner you get that guaranteed 40% earnings plus an entire year after that. So those are some of the benefits to making President's Club. Debbie says extra demos. So for example, we have these What's New books, and there's always great stuff, great products to promote. Look at these necklaces, by the way, on the back of campaign 9, What's New. These are fabulous. So what that means, if you wanted to get like 4 of these necklaces ahead of time, being that you're a representative and not in President's Club, you can only get 1. They limit you to 1. However, if you're a President's Club member, you're going to be able to get 3 of each necklace. So you could get 3 of the silver and 3 of the gold in order as a President's Club member. You also get, on the fixed earning items, you get an additional 5% earnings increase on the fixed earning items. So those are just reasons why you want to become a President's Club member. So right now, Campaign 7, we just finished that out. You want to take a look at your gold card. If you go onto youravon.com, check out under earning opportunities. You want to look at all the information about President's Club, because you also have an opportunity to win points, or actually earn points, excuse me. With those points, you can trade those points in for different items. Tracy, have you ever turned in your points for anything? Share with us what kinds of items you've gotten with your President's Club points. And anybody who's on here, if you've been in President's Club and you've earned anything with your President's Club points, please share with us. I've had, one of my favorites was, I had a representative who said she got gift cards and planted flowers all in her front of her house. And I thought, what a great Avon gift to yourself, to plant flowers and have Avon pay for it with your President's points. So, okay, Tracy, you say you love the dinner cards. Absolutely. So those are just some things that you can get. You can also get all kinds of things. Purses, if you love purses, if you love technical things like iPads, things of that nature. They have all kinds of stuff on there. Tracy says, and I just use my points to go to RepFest. Yes, you can also use, as you earn your points, you can save them up and then also pay for the registration to go to RepFest as well. Great point, Tracy. So then RepFest would be no cost to you to be able to attend through the registration, and you're still going to get that $150 swag bag along with the whole experience of RepFest. So great point. So once you check out your gold card, it's going to show you how much you've sold between campaign 1 to campaign 7, and then it will also break down and show you how much more you need to sell in order to achieve President's Club. And what I love about it is it shows you each campaign how much you need to sell the rest of the year so that you can achieve President's Club. Hey Debbie, good seeing you on here. We had a great meeting last night, didn't we? So also with your looking at your President's Club and how you're going to earn it, you also are able to take a look at that and say, okay, for example, if you're not necessarily tracking, you can start looking at what kind of plans are you going to have in place so that you can up your sales maybe starting second quarter. So again, you're not waiting till fourth quarter to try and achieve President's Club. So right now with spring coming, I know here in our area, we have all kinds of garage sales. We have different swap meets. We have flea markets. We have all kinds of vendor shows. A lot of people like to get involved in those different events. Debbie, I know you have some sort of store too. Share with us in the comments. What kind of store do you have? It's not a flea market. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But you also have a store that you have your products in that's like kind of like a flea market, but somebody else oversees the entire area. So share with us what you have going on. And then also, you want to be able to promote online. And so the whole point of looking at where you're at with your President's Club is so that you can start putting those plans into place. So you want to focus 3 months at a time. Antique Mall, thank you. I couldn't think of it. So you want to start looking at 3 months at a time. So we're just closing up March. So you want to take a look at April, May, and June. The first thing you want to do, and you want to write this down, the first thing you want to do is start looking, whether you Google it or look in different bulletins, but you want to find out what events are coming up in April, May, and June. And start looking to see what the prices are, what you want to afford, what you can afford. Some of them, a lot of them are free. We had a career fair today at a junior college. It was absolutely free. Okay, you have a booth set up, Debbie, at the Antique Mall, correct? Perfect. So something like that, you want to find out where you can be able to get more exposure. And with the business, now, for those of you that maybe haven't brought anybody into the business, this is really a good time. People, with the weather, people are going to be out more. So now people are kind of waking up, if you will. And so you want to start thinking about who could use $1,000. So having those events in place is the first key when you're looking at how you're building your calendar. So the first thing you want to do at a 90-day glance is think about what events you're going to plug into your calendar. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to break it down by monthly and start thinking about what activities you're going to add on top of those events. So you may have some solid rock events that are committed to certain times, but then you may want to have a scavenger hunt with your team. Or if you don't have a team, maybe you only have 1 or 2 people on your team, then perhaps you want to set a time. Maybe it's Tuesdays from 2 to 4 every Tuesday where you go out and you talk to business owners, or you go out and talk to people in different service industries where you share the Avon opportunity with them. Share some samples, have a customer appreciation day. So that's the next thing you want to do. Step 2 is you want to write down what kind of schedule you want to have for your Avon business. It doesn't have to be a 9 to 5. It doesn't have to be 40 hours, but you do want to have at least one activity where you're bringing people into your business, or just at least attracting them into your business each week. The minimum, one activity that you're doing that. So think about, and when I say activity, I mean really face-to-face activity. If you're just canvassing, that's what we call passive recruiting, but you really want to have something that's more actively, where you're leaving an impression with someone, you're walking away with a name and a number, you're giving them your name and number, and then you have something to follow up. The idea behind that is you want to be able to build your contacts. So the more contacts you have in these colder months, then you can always fall back on that and reach out to people and see if their situation has changed and if they want to join your team or if they're interested in some of the products. So what events are you going to be interested in the next 90 days? Think about that. Think about what events you're going to get involved in. There's all kinds of things. You don't even have to do it right in your area. You can go anywhere. So you can have customers anywhere within the United States. So even if they live far away from you, they can still order from your e-store. So have fun with that. And if you're out on, spring break, some of you may have already gone on spring break, but anywhere you go, you can leave your books and marketing materials to let people know that your business is open. So then you want to take a look after you've looked at what you're doing in the next 90 days. The next thing you want to do, we talked about, is monthly, and then you want to break it down to each campaign. And this is where you start setting your goals. So you want to set your goals, your sales goals, your customer goals, and your recruiting goals. So by doing that, you want to think, okay, this is how much I need in sales. So you first want to focus on what is it that you want? What is your why? Why are you here at Avon? For me, when I first started, in my story I mentioned it, I wanted to have an astro jump and a big birthday party for my son when he turned 4. And so that's why I got started, and that was my goal. And guess what? I got it. He had a Spider-Man birthday party. I even bought a Spider-Man costume, had somebody wear it, and it was a lot of fun. So that was my first goal. And then as you go on, your goals get bigger. So if you know that you need to have $500, then you need to figure out how much you need in sales. So if you need $500 and you're at 40% earnings, then you know you're going to have to sell at least $1,200 to get you that $500. So when you break that down by your timeline, when you want to have that money by, then you're going to be able to look and see, well, how many customers do I need to get that? So if you're selling $30 to each customer, then that's going to give you an idea of how many customers you need to be able to have $150 in sales. If you're selling $40, then maybe you need less customers. So you want to take a look at what your average order is and start thinking of how you're going to get new customers and how you're going to build that average order. And then the third thing is bringing people into your business, because when you have people on your team, it just makes it a whole lot easier. So you're going to be receiving residual income based on their sales. And this isn't any money that Avon takes away from the people you bring to your team. They get paid the same way that we get paid, other than you're going to get an additional bonus for helping to mentor and coach them. So it's additional money that Avon's paying you for helping them. So those are just some tips that I have for you. The way that I like to think about this, I do it in 3 steps. If you are a new representative, if you're an established representative, I would say that it goes the same for all. If you do these 3 steps, and you may want to write this down, this is going to help you build your business. So the first thing you want to do is you want to work your way up to selling $30 to 15 people, because that's going to help you get to President's Club. So if you're a new representative, you may start selling $30 to 5 people, but eventually you want to hit 15 to 20 people that you're selling $30 to. The second thing you want to do is to identify 10 to 15 people from your 50 names list of your customer list. So create a customer list of 50 names, identify 10 to 15 people that could use $1,000. That's step 2. Identify those 10 to 15 people, share the opportunity with those 10 to 15 people, and then the third step is to show 5 of those people how to do exactly what you're doing, which is selling and sharing the opportunity. So years ago, we always called this the sell, share, show model. So you're selling $400 on average a campaign, sharing the opportunity with 10 to 15 people, and showing 5 people how to do what you do. You do that, you're going to continually duplicate your success in this business. So Tracy says, have to go, Jennifer. Thanks for all you do. Time for Austin's 14th birthday party. Tell him happy birthday first, Tracy. I hope you have fun. Okay, well, let me know what kind of questions that you all have. Those will be my tips for what you need to know Wednesday. Stay focused on President's Club. Stay focused on achieving your Atlantis trip. It's not over yet. We're in campaign 7. Some of you are in campaign 8, which means you still have 2 campaigns to get those points. And I want to see everybody achieve those up to the very last minute. So don't give up. If you, let me tell you, there has been times in incentives where I think there's just no way that this is going to work out for me. And every time I've had a boss that pushes me beyond what I think I can do, I'm never disappointed, because guess what? I always win the incentive. And so I'm just asking you to think in that way for yourself as well. If you want this incentive and you want to go to Jamaica, don't give up in campaign 7. Keep going for it. You'll never know what you could have had until the end. So keep going all the way through campaign 9 so that you can make it to Jamaica. And so we have that incentive going on. Keep scratching those tickets for the scratch off tickets. We want to see your videos, so make sure that you put it on Facebook as soon as you earn your scratch off card. And then also, I want to congratulate our team. You may recall we had Annie the Owl that we sold to raise money for the Women's Center. The Women's Center is a shelter that we have here in Carbondale, Illinois. And they do a lot for the women in the community that are victims of domestic violence. So we had Annie the Owl. We sold Annie the Owl for $20, and the proceeds went back to the business, or went back to the Women's Center. And as a team, District 5020 raised over $1,000 for the Women's Center. So I just want to thank all of those representatives that supported and participated into the fundraiser. And we are actually going to be setting up a time where we're all going to meet, hand over our donations, and have a oversized check presented to the Women's Center in early April. So I'm really excited for that, and just want to thank everyone so much for participating. For those of you that have never done an Avon fundraiser, I would really encourage you to try it. It's very rewarding. Plus, not only is it rewarding, but it gives you an opportunity to help your community, and at the same time it helps you get more customers, it helps you bring more business and attract more people into your business. Cindy says, that's what I was thinking. I'm going to make it. I am not recruited 2 people. Oh, you're out recruiting 2 people today. Great job, Cindy. You're definitely going to hit it. And you know, Cindy, I bet you will make it, because it's once you've been on an Avon trip, it's like you never want to let another trip slide by. So I'm sure that you will be there in Jamaica, and I can't wait for you to take a picture, get your selfie on there, you know, in Jamaica, or not Jamaica, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, in the Bahamas at Atlantis. And I can't wait to see you there in the Bahamas taking a picture of relaxing after all your hard work. So it will definitely pay off for you, Cindy. So I'm excited for you. So think about your fundraisers. You can also think about those over the next quarter. Take a look at what product promotions you want to promote way in advance. So you're in campaign 7 or 8 right now, or perhaps if you're a trendsetter, you're a little bit further ahead. But you want to start looking at those what's news and start focusing on 3 products that you're going to sell to each of your customers. Just like we pulled out that special in campaign 8, when you start focusing on selling those, it's going to create incremental sales for you. And so just on that one product alone, you're able to lift your sales while customers are still going to buy all of the products that they currently need. So keep that in mind as you're selling through campaign 9, 10, 11, and all the way through second quarter. So I also want you to come back to me and let me know what questions you have. What do you want to talk about? I know we've talked a lot about the incentives. We've talked about RepFest. We've talked about skincare in the past. We've talked about makeup. We've talked about different products. But this is this here, What You Need to Know Wednesday live at 5 is all for you. So I want to know more. Send me some messages and let me know what questions you have for your Avon business. What kind of motivation do you need? And I will be happy to share any kind of information that we have as well. Hey, Amy, I know you're just joining us. We're getting ready to wrap it up here. I hope you're having a great week, Amy. We just talked a lot about what our Avon story is and how that relates to our business. We also want to keep in mind that when you're sharing your Avon story, you also want to pull out from other people how it can help with whatever's going on in their life as well. Debbie says, thank you for everything you do to help us. Gotta go. All right, Debbie. Guess what? Tonight is crab night for those of you that are in the area. Wednesday's like my favorite night because you can get a pound of crab legs for only $14.95 at Midland Inn. So I have to have a shout out for those of you that live near Carbondale, Illinois, because it's crab night. So I'm going to get ready to go to dinner here shortly. But go ahead and send me a message if you have any questions. If there's any information that I can help you with, if you want to do a one-on-one and look at how we can plan out your next 90 days success, let's do it. So let me know how I can help you. I know after each What You Need to Know Wednesday, I get a bunch of messages in my inbox and I love it. So don't ever feel that you're bugging me or that I don't have enough time. I have plenty of time for all of you in your success. So I look forward to seeing you. Now next Wednesday, I'm actually going to be out of town. I'm visiting my son. So I won't see you all next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, I will be back here live. That's going to be April 5th. And I will be back here live at 5 on What You Need to Know Wednesday on April 5th. So I hope you all have a great Wednesday evening, and I will see you April 5th on What You Need to Know Wednesday. Take care. Bye.